I'm gonna go and celebrate with a glass of wine
or two.
or two. It's Saturday. Why not a couple bottles?
But always drink responsibly.
Yes,
Always drink responsibly, kids. Yeah,
not kids. Kids shouldn't drink at all.
Well, yeah, that's true.
no,
That's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought about that. My mind was in the wrong place.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And this
problem
podcast
at
will
all.
be available everywhere. Go and tell your friends, make sure you share it left, right, and centre. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Night Owl Music Podcast.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.
It's funny though, like when you mention Google Maps, it's amazing how a lot of people use it and think that they can rely on it, but it's actually really, really bad. Because, like, I remember the last time I was in London in 2019 for BBC Music Introducing, and three of us went down, and one of the people that was with us insisted in using Google Maps, even though the other person we were there with knows London very, very well. And we went down the Google Map route, and then we ended up on a train leaving London. So never rely on Google Maps, everyone. That's our word of advice to you.
It basically takes you out of London.
I know. We're looking at each other going, yeah, we're leaving London. So whenever we're ready.
Yeah. I'm already rolling.
Oh, is it recording now?
Yeah, it's recording the whole time.
All right, okay. Oh, fuck, thanks. No, but I like a little build up to it. If you were to like invent your own sub, what would be in it, and what would you call your sub?
Oh, I could go two ways with this. I could either really gross people out, or I could just give you something which is more like an essay on what the ingredients are. So I guess whichever one you'd prefer me to share with you.
Do both.
Do both? All right. So my favourite sandwich is ham and Marmite. So I could honestly just have a ham and Marmite sub because it just hits differently Marmite. But if I had to like have a proper sub, which let's be honest, you're not doing Subway properly if you don't have at least 6 different things going on. I would love to have a fillet steak and halloumi sub.
That does sound good.
With Diane sauce poured on the inside, and even have some like some triple cooked chips in there as well, because I love a chip butty. So why not throw chips in there as well? Carbs on carbs, best way to live. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just skip the vegetables.
Nice.
Be a proper dirty sub, greasy.
Oh, God. I love it. And, you know, I don't know what it says about me, but when you were describing that last Subway there, I was just imagining washing it down with a glass of red wine. That sounds very nice. Your Dunkin' Donuts coffee there, don't you?
Yes, I'm ready.
So, all full of beans.
It's actually Valentine's Day flavor, so.
Oh, you're a bit
really
too
good.
early.
Yeah, I know they put them out so early now, so you can enjoy it the whole month.
That's not bad.
You're so romantic, River. I wouldn't have thought it being any other way. Anyway, we're going to dive right into this idea that you learned to count to 10. Can you still remember?
Ooh, now you're putting me on the spot. Let me try. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, chichi, hachi, kyu, chu. Yes, I did it. Okay. Great.
Well done.
After 15 years, I can still do it.
I couldn't have you say that and not ask you. It's been really, really brilliant. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed the last time when, you know, we caught up in 2019, and I remember thinking, God, this guy's done his research. He knows me better than my mother knows me. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I think Night Owl, you know, podcast is just it's a fantastic thing, and I'm excited to see who else is going to be on it. I'm literally like a little geek, like watching the social media, like, oh, who's going to be next? So thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. You're our top fan. That's it. It's official, Melissa. Top fan.
Absolutely.
But and I'm going to say this as well, everyone, right out in the podcast, out loud. Melissa, I love you, and I mean that. Melissa's brilliant, everyone, and I do mean that. So yeah, you're brilliant. You make me laugh, and you're just such a joy to interview. Truly.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Jovan, and thank you, Chris, as well.
Yeah, Chris, everyone, my co-host.
It's been such a pleasure. Mm-hmm. It's been really, really nice to meet you. Well, not really meet you, but you, yeah,
sort of
exactly.
Solo album. It's basically a continuation of Love Letters in the sense that it's themed around it's themed around, you know, what women are if they're monsters in stories. So things like Medusa and when women become sort of this sort of terrifying figure. But also the theme around the next album is actually revenge. I really love the idea around revenge and what revenge means, because it's such a weird concept when you really sit down and think about it. What is revenge? Revenge is when we feel so hurt or so betrayed that we feel like we've got to go out of our way to go and find this person and do something to them so they might feel a little bit of our pain. So I love that. So it's the next album's around revenge. I wanted to have it out by end of May, but of course, you know, what with COVID and everything, it's kind of scuppered a lot of plans, but it will certainly be out before probably autumn time. It's going to be now, but it's going to be a whole album about revenge and how women can be these beautiful things and then suddenly become these monsters who are out for revenge when we're wronged. So yeah.
Nice, I love it. Look
Another
out for
creepy
that one,
demon.
everyone. I know, exactly.
Another spooky album. But the Crow album's coming soon and that'll be nice and fun, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Billboard.com, they said The Voice contestant Lane Roy triggers tears with Someone You Loved performance. And also the Colorado Springs Gazette, they said all it took was 10 seconds and one line of a song for Colorado native Lane Roy to make an impression on some of the biggest stars in music. And yes, again, it is a great honour to have Lane Roy here on episode 8 of the Night Owl Music Podcast.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This is so cool. Man, that was such an awesome intro.
Oh, thank you. I was trying not to trip over my words.
No, it's so cool. I already said this too, but I love your accent. I could just listen to you talk like for hours on end. It's so cool.
Right. I promise you I will record you an audiobook of like me reading a story for you.
Please do. Please do. That would be amazing.
You're so welcome. No, this is going to be a lot of
Just
fun.
for that. But no, this is so much fun getting to know you guys. Thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a pleasure.
You're so welcome. So there we go, everyone. Lane Roy from NBC's The Voice, season 19. It's been episode 8 of the Night Owl Music Podcast with myself, Jovan, here in Scotland, and Chris over there in Switzerland. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to share this podcast episode left, right and centre, and also check out our website, which is nightowlmusicpromos.com. Thanks for listening to the Night Owl Music Podcast.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.